From Albany, California, Golden Gate Field, Sports Channel presents the $300,000 California Derby, the 77th running of the California Derby. We have a glorious day here in Albany, California. The track condition is fast. It is sunny and clear. Temperatures in the high 60s, just a slight breeze blowing. Hello, everybody. I'm Pete Liebengood along with Brian Beach, and this, the California Derby, is the final Kentucky Derby prep on the West Coast. And while there are no horses in this 10-horse field being heralded coming in as a Derby contender, there are a handful of horses who could make the trip to Churchill Downs.
We have 5 of the 10 horses in this field nominated for the Kentucky Derby, but really only probably a couple of these horses real legitimate candidates, and that's only if they win this race.
What we've got here is what they call an inexperienced field, but I think that's going to lead to a very competitive race.
It should. It was going to be a short field had Olympio come to this race. He won the Derby prep on the way to this race here at Golden Gate Fields. Ron McAnally opted to send him to Arkansas for the Arkansas Derby, and that threw it wide open. So now we have 10 horses, and the most experienced horse in this race has 3 wins. To his credit, the rest of them just 2 wins.
So a bit of a risk for Ron McAnally and Olympio, but let's take a look at what Olympio may be passing up here with respect to the purse on this race. We indicated it's a grade 3, $300,000 event, and the winner gets $160,000. Second place is $60,000, and $45,000 for third, and so on. So it is a bit of a risk.
It's a bit of a risk. It's a $500,000 purse for Olympio should he win the Arkansas Derby, but this is a nice purse here, and these horses could become stars down the road.
All right, coming in, the morning line had Split Run as the favorite as we look at the morning line odds for this race.
Split Run favorite. He was considered a legitimate Kentucky Derby candidate before the San Felipe. 9-5 on the morning line. He's holding right there right now with the betting public here at Golden Gate Fields. Stark South, a very interesting horse on the bottom. He's never been on the dirt. He's raced all of his races on the turf. He's 7-2 on the morning line, and then pillaring the third choice at 9-2.
So we've got some interesting stories working here with some very young horses, and this race particularly has a history of horses going on to other and greater things and not necessarily the winners. And we're going to take a look at the 77-year history of the California Derby when we return here to Golden Gate Fields, and we'll focus on the era of the 80s. It was quite exciting. Stay with us. Albany, California for the California Derby. I mentioned this is the 77th running of the California Derby. The race is really 115 years old. They didn't make all their calendar dates on this particular race, and it's been held at a number of tracks around Northern California, but this race actually predates the Kentucky Derby by 2 years. It's for its first run in 1873, and there have been some great names here that have ridden here. Johnny Longden has won this race 5 times. Bill Shoemaker has won it twice. And I guess we really couldn't go on any further in this horse race being held here in California without mentioning and talking and wishing the best to Bill Shoemaker, who was injured critically in an auto accident Monday night.
Yes, all of us here at Golden Gate Fields as well as Sports Channel want to wish Bill a speedy and full recovery. Our thoughts and prayers are with him. Of course, he won his very first race ever as a jockey right here at Golden Gate Fields in 1949.
All right, and somebody said or wrote this week at Santa Anita and all of California, Bill Shoemaker is the soul of horse racing, so we wish him the best. All right, we mentioned that this is a long history, but in the 80s we had some very entertaining races, and we're going to take a look now. Brian takes us back through the 80s via videotape.
The 1980 renewal of the California Derby saw another Hall of Fame rider bringing home a winner in this Western Classic. And in this case, Chris McCarron made a Hall of Fame move on Jacqueline Klugman.
With an 1/8 of a mile to run, Doonesbury is there by a length. Jacqueline Klugman drops to the inside second, and on the outside, here comes Native up for her. That's Doonesbury with the lead, and Jacqueline Klugman. Doonesbury on the outside. Jacqueline Klugman could get it all, and here they are. Whoa.
In 1987, Simply Majestic was quietly coming off an allowance win at Santa Anita, but a win in the Cal Derby propelled him to a $1 million career.
Turning into the stretch, and Simply Majestic on the outside, moving on top. Laguna Native a second. Here's Flying Flags in the middle of the track. They're in deep stretch now, and on the lead is Simply Majestic by 2.
A pair of Hall of Famers teamed up to win the '88 Cal Derby. Lafitte Pinkai Jr. brought home the Jack Van Berg trained All the Power, a race that was remembered for a mid-stretch spill and the winner not being able to make it back to the winner's circle.
In the stretch, All the Power draws clear. Ruhlman has gone down in the stretch. Ruhlman has gone down, racing to the 16th pole. All the Power is drawn clear in front.
Trainer Laz Barrera, also a Hall of Famer, tightened the girth on the '89 winner, Endow.
And Dow has a slight lead. Malagra flying Continental down the middle of the track. And here comes Arctic Chief along with Baby It's Cold Outside. And Dow has a slight lead. Malagra at the rail. Flying Continental and Arctic Chief. And Dow trying to pull off the upset.
And Stalwart Charger claimed last year's Derby, an impressive wire-to-wire winner through blazing fractions, including 6 furlongs in 1:08 3 for the mile and 1/8.
It's Stalwart Charger holding on to that lead by 2, and he's always going clear to win this California Derby. Stalwart Charger has the lead over Music Prospector, getting a 30 Sue's Dunning. Stalwart Charger in the Cal Derby.
Well, history also tells us, Brian, that winning isn't everything here in the California Derby.
It certainly is not. Horses that have not won this race are right there on your screen right now. Most of them millionaires, a lot of them favorites in this race. Turkoman went on to win the Eclipse Award in 1986. Ruhlman, the horse that we'll see falling in the 88, exactly.
Farm Away, busy today.
Exactly. And Flying Continental won the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Belmont Park last year. So horses that don't exactly win this race, don't throw them out either.
Farm Away and the Oaklawn Handicap today did not finish on the board, but has gone on to a very successful career. That horse coming out of last year. As we look at the paddock area now here, just encompassed in shadows here at Golden Gate Fields, as we are approaching, maybe 10-12 minutes away from post time here in the California Derby. And let's see now, if we can, how the public is viewing the horses here.
Well, Stark South, the second choice, is holding right there at 7-2. Split Run, the morning line favorite at 9-5, is right there, just one notch above. Green Alligator being bet down just a little bit. He was 6-1 on the morning line. He's 9-2 now. Pillaring, he's an overlay, the 2-horse, 9-2 on the morning line. He's now 7-1. And Navarone, the 5-horse, 8-1 on the morning line. He's an overlay also at 11-1.
Do you see anything there that surprises you?
I'm surprised that Nijinsky's Prince, the 6-horse, is not being bet more heavily. He's 20-1 on the morning line. He's an overlay at 25-1. I thought that he would be bet down a little bit. Ray Seville, the jockey, thinks that he can win this race.
Is this at all reflective of not having a marquee contender here? In other words, somebody who everybody figures has got a good chance of walking away with this?
I think so. The fans are undecided at this point. They're holding steady on the 2 favorites, on Stark South and on Split Run. Neither horse really being bet down unbelievably. You would expect a heavy favorite to be bet down to about 3-5 or at least even money, and that's just not happening right now.
All right, well, we're looking at a race that really anybody can win. There are a number of contenders. As we look at Split Run right there, that is the betting favorite as we speak. But what we're going to do now is take another look at some of Brian's work, some of the contenders to challenge the betting favorite, Split Run.
Much like Farm Away, who wasn't living up to his potential, Ray Seville wasn't living up to his own expectations and desires in Southern California. So, early in 1991, he shifted his tack to Northern California and now has found new life.
Only in America that can happen. And I just had to, realize what I did wrong, what the things were, and to get back started again. And one of the things was I had to leave there. I had to leave Santa Anita.
Seville will ride Nijinsky's Prince today and likes his chances, even though he's a long shot.
If they have the racetrack kind of dug up a little and the speed is coming back, I think he'll really run a big race. I think we're winning.
The name is enough to attract attention alone, but when you add in the fact that Green Alligator has been either first or second in 5 of his career outings, you sit up and take notice. A 4th place finish in the Grade 2 San Felipe is the only off-the-board blemish on his form, and this maiden win, coming at a mile and 1/16, was done in impressive style.
Green Alligator finding more into dancers, coming at him now, into dance on the outside, Green Alligator's hanging on.
Trainer Mary Johnson's wife, Kim, used to gallop horses for Charlie Whittingham. She now gallops the Gator and isn't shy about making comparisons to the good ones.
I used to ride Ruhlman and Golden Pheasant. Ruhlman was awesome, but Green Alligator, he's getting to be kind of awesome, I think.
A Kentucky-bred son of Dixieland Band, Stark South has had only one race in the U.S., that coming on the turf in an allowance race at Santa Anita.
Stark South, Triple Alpha. Stark South has won it.
Stark South has never been on the dirt in the States. This will be his first try, one his trainer, John Russell, thinks will be a winning effort.
He's had all his training since November has been on the dirt. In fact, when he ran on the turf at Santa Anita, we only ran on the turf reluctantly because the dirt races wouldn't fill. So we initially intended him to run on the dirt.
Turning for home, Charmanier's the one to catch. Pay Blanc on the far outside second. Star of Cozine's running a big race, and down at the rail comes In Memory of Mom. It's Charmanier in front.
The local Northern California hopes in this race seem to lie with Charmanier. After his maiden win, his second win came in an overnight handicap. But he's been knocking heads with some of the best 3-year-olds on the West Coast for his past 4 races.
We just felt like the colt deserved a chance, so he's been running against the best colts here. And he worked good the other day. He worked 6 furlongs, won 12-2, which turned out to be the fastest work of the day. But he come off that good, and his blood count's been good, so we're going to take the best shot we can.
Charmanier, one of 3 Northern California horses in this race, and on the morning line anyway, was the favorite amongst the locals, but not anymore.
The fans are not agreeing with our morning line odds maker. He was 15-1 on the morning line. He's now 40-1. He's the largest price on the board right now.
All right, since all 3-year-old activity this time of year points toward the Kentucky Derby, we should update you on what's going on with respect to what is leading up to the first week in May. And the Bluegrass Stakes were held today, and Fly So Free was the favorite in that one. In fact, he was everybody's choice to be the top Kentucky Derby contender, but it didn't work out well for him today at Bluegrass.
He was upset today by Strike the Gold, who finished second to Fly So Free in Florida. He turned the tables on him today, won by a couple lengths. So now I would guess that the Kentucky Derby picture is muddied even further. Denard, probably from the West Coast, is now the favorite.
Well, that's horse racing, as they say. At one time, Split Run, as you indicated earlier, was one of the horses thought of as a potential Derby contender, but a 5th in the San Felipe in March down in Santa Anita has changed all that. But at least he is still the betting favorite here anyway.
Still Split Run, leading them just over a length. 10.
Glen Hill Farm Split Run was considered a top 2-year-old, but never made it to the races because he shin-bucked and was slow coming back. As a 3-year-old, though, Split Run has made it to the races, and he has his connections very excited, especially after winning his first 2 races by a combined total of 18 lengths.
Tim Tez on the outside, 10 DJs jamming under a ride. They come to the top of the lane, and Jose Santos now asks the question of Split Run, and he's giving him the right answer as he opens up on them with an 1/8 of a mile to go. A hand ride here from Jose Santos as Split Run puts on an exhibition run for us this afternoon. They don't tell him he can go around again. He could. He just bowls down to the wire to win it by a distance.
His allowance win by 12 lengths and an impressive time made Southern California racing fans think that this colt could be a budding star. He was sent off as the 3-5 favorite in the San Felipe at Santa Anita. That was surprising to many people because he was facing more accomplished and more experienced racehorses like Sea Cadet and Scan. Jose Santos and Split Run finished 5th in the San Felipe, and his trainer wasn't ready to blame his disappointing race all on the horse.
He come out of the gate there, he really didn't have any purpose when he come out of the gate, and he got to 7/8 pole. He's in terrible position, and he let him run, and you can't let a horse run in the 7/8 pole going 1 1/16. I really didn't think it was the greatest ride, but sometimes I make mistakes too. After the San Felipe, you better just kind of go back to the drawing board and let him build himself back up. He might not be as good a horse as the media had him made out to be. Media kind of jumped on his bandwagon. Might even had me believing it a little bit.
This chestnut son of relaunch has bounced back from defeat like a true professional, according to his trainer, and the Kentucky Derby may still be in the picture. But for now, Proctor and his new rider, Alex Solis, have their sights set on the California Derby. The Cal Derby has always been on Proctor's schedule, just not for this horse. Media Plan, who was recently sold to MC Hammer's Oaktown stable for $450,000, was the horse pointed for this course and race.
They come down to the wire. It's all Media Plan. His future's so bright, he's got to wear shades. Media Plan wins the Golden Bear impressively.
We had just sold this horse Media Plan, and he ran in the Santa Anita Derby for, I guess, MC Hammer or whatever, and it's just worked out where this race suits this horse better as of right now.
So does Alex Solis make the difference on Split Run today? Well, that's what we're here to find out.
There he is, Split Run 9-5. He's right there at his morning line odds right now, Split Run. A very interesting horse. When he won that race by 12 lengths at Santa Anita, everybody thought that this horse, including Jose Santos, who was riding him at that point, thought that this horse was as good as Denard, maybe even Fly So Free, and was going to the Kentucky Derby. And when he ran 5th in the San Felipe, it really burst the balloon, even of Tom Proctor. He was very disappointed, but he was also disappointed in Jose's ride. Alex Solis here today. I think that they think that this horse can still be a nice horse. He won't say, Tom won't say whether or not they're going on to Kentucky if they win this race, because he really is lightly raced and maybe doesn't deserve to go on, or shouldn't go on just for his health's sake. But you could probably find him in the Preakness maybe if he wins this race.
Let's talk a little bit about Stark South, which going in on the morning line was the second choice. That is altered somewhat here. This is an interesting horse that has done most of its racing over in Europe, England and Ireland, and will be running on dirt for the very first time. Now, how significant a fact is that?
I don't think it's too big a deal in this case, because he's been in the country since November. Every single work that he's had since he's been in the United States has been on the dirt. The races that he ran in Europe were on soft turf courses. Today's track is playing just a little bit slow. We're about a second and a half slower than we normally are on California Derby Day. And so I would think that he's probably going to like the track surface today, and it won't bother him that much. Now, if he gets dirt in his face, now that's something different. Horses usually don't get dirt in their face or anything in their face when they're running on turf, and so that is where we could see the difference today.
Well, he may not know dirt, but the guy in the irons, Russell Bays, the jockey, certainly knows this dirt here. He is a legend at this track. He won 16 riding titles between the two major tracks here in the San Francisco Bay Area. One season here at Golden Gate, Russell Bays, who races primarily now in Southern California, won 157 races, which is still a track record.
You know, I'll tell you how much the owners of Stark South think of this horse. He raced in Europe 6 days apart. The Dewhurst was the second race in that 6 days. They supplemented him to that race for $20,000, and that's very unusual to race that closely together and put up that kind of money. So they really think that he is a legitimate racehorse.
All right, one more look here, a late look at how the public is betting this 77th California Derby.
Green Alligator now the second choice in the wagering. He's down from 6-1 to 4-1. Corey Nakatani in the irons. He's hot. He's winning everything in sight these days up from Southern California. He should be a horse to contend here.
That's right. He's, I think, 6th in the standings in terms of money earnings at $1.9 million, and he's only 20 years old, so he definitely is a hot jockey. That's Corey Nakatani we're talking about, a Southern California product all the way.
Corey is, of course, noted for his ride on It's All Greek to Me, the Eclipse Award winner of last year on the turf. And as we said, he is really riding hot. Another horse here to watch for is probably Navarone. Julio Garcia rides Navarone. And Jeff Lucas is here, Dwayne Lucas's son. Now, if they didn't think this horse had a shot, he wouldn't be here, because he would have been in Arkansas today with Farm Away.
All right, there you see the starting gate here for this 1 mile and an eighth race. They have reached the starting gate. Let's go to our track announcer, Larry Colmus, for the call.
Okay, and they're moving into line now for the California Derby. A field of 10 3-year-olds going 1 mile and an eighth. Loading into the gate, Slew the Surgeon and Pillaring already into line. Number 3 moving right along. Bet down to 13-1 on the board, goes into the gate. Ron Warren aboard, moving right along. Another one of the local horses goes in next. Lord Joe into stall number 4 with Roberto Gonzalez, currently 20-1 on the board. Navarone going into the gate now. Number 5 with Julio Garcia from the Dwayne Lucas barn, now at 11-1. Nijinsky's Prince next to go in. They're loading quite nicely here for the California Derby. Here's the favorite, Split Run. Split Run goes right into the gate. Green Alligator goes into stall 8, and that leaves 2 more to go in. 40-1 Longshot Charmineer, and Stark South, the 7-2 second choice, going into line under Russell Bays. They're all in line. We're set for the start here of the California Derby. They're racing in the 77th running of the California Derby. Moving right along is going to the front. Slew the Surgeon is out second. There goes Charmanier up alongside of them, and these three set the pace. Split Run, the favorite, is right there. Then it's Lord Joe and Pillaring on the inside. Start South could get caught wide into that turn. He's racing 5 lengths off the lead. Then we come back to Green Alligator. 2 more to Navarone. Nijinsky's Prince sits in the back of the pack. 12 lengths from the leaders around the clubhouse turn. Ron Hansen has Slew the Surgeon ahead in front, moving right along, pressuring that leader on the outside, and these two are matching strides. Lord Joe, a length and 3/4 back in third. Then comes Pillaring down at the rail. He's going well enough, 2 lengths off the lead. Charmanier is next, and then comes Start South. Split Run is having to be asked already. Split Run down at the rail, not doing much right now. Going past him is Green Alligator. Another 5 to Navarone, and the trailer, Nijinsky's Prince. They're going at a fast pace, 46 flat for the half into the far turn. Moving right along, has a head in front. Slew the Surgeon on the inside, right there second. Lord Joe tracks them a length back. Then comes Pillaring, followed on the outside by Charmanier. Green Alligator is next, followed by Navarone on the outside. Start South, Nijinsky's Prince. Split Run is last as they come to the quarter pole. And moving right along is the one to catch. Ron Warren and moving right along in front. Lord Joe on the outside is second. Slew the Surgeon is third. The 2 Northern California horses lead the way. Moving right along, trying to pull off a big upset. Lord Joe, here's Slew the Surgeon charging up between horses, and Green Alligator on the outside. Green Alligator and Slew the Surgeon come out of the pack. It's Green Alligator in front. Slew the Surgeon waiting back on the inside. Corey Nakatani and Green Alligator have won the California Derby. Slew the Surgeon was second and moving right along finished third. Green Alligator wins the 1991 California Derby in 1:47.4.
All right, Green Alligator with the young jockey we talked about, Corey Nakatami, on top, is the winner here of the 77th California Derby.
Very impressive. Green Alligator coming from off the pace. He had been running on the lead in most of his races up until this point, and trainer Murray Johnson said that this horse could run from off the pace. Eddie Della Houssaye, who had ridden him prior to this race, said that that's probably where he would do his best running, and that's exactly what happened today. The leaders really did not change spots, and nobody was really coming to him except for the winner, Green Alligator.
Well, his history certainly would lead you to believe that he's capable of something like that, finishing first or second in 5 of his 6 races. So Green Alligator knows what it is to be up there in the winner's circle or close to it. Let's go back now and take a look at a portion of the 77th running of the California Derby.
Turning for home here, moving right along, a horse coming out of 6 furlong races. Leading the way, the local hopes. Lord Joe right there with him, but in the outside, the yellow blinkers, watch here, Green Alligator, Corey Nakatani, and Slew the Surgeon. They're in between horses. That's Ron Hansen, leading jockey here at Golden Gate Fields. Looks like maybe he has a winner, but on the outside is the winner, Green Alligator. Great job by Corey. He's so aggressive. He's fearless. He has so much confidence in himself. He translates that over to the racehorse.
What an effort by Slew the Surgeon, though, with Ron Hansen aboard, 12-1 coming in here by the public and the betting, and he was there most of the way and really gave Green Alligator a run for the roses, if you will. We'll return here and talk with our winning jockey, Corey Nakatani, at Golden Gate Fields in just a moment. Our way, we want to talk with him here, our winning jockey, youngster, and I mean youngster, in only his 3rd season, 20 years old. He's won close to $2 million already this season, and this isn't going to hurt anything. Corey, congratulations. Fine ride.
Thank you. This horse is a nice horse. He really ran a game race. He's just digging in all the way down landing. I like this horse. He's a good horse.
Nobody else was coming to the leaders. You were the only horse that seemed to have any kick down the stretch.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we got a spot to run at. And when I asked him to come on, he just started digging in and coming on. And it feels great to ride horses like this, you know. I mean, it comes a long way. My agent, Tony Matos, he's doing a hell of a job for me, and I just hope to go on and do better things.
All right, thanks, Corey. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good ride.
Thank you.
All right, let's look at the payoff, if we can, for Green Alligator. These are unofficial, of course. The win at $11, $5.20, and $4 for Green Alligator.
Bet down from 6-1 on the morning line down to 9-2. Green Alligator. Very impressive performance here. Kim Johnson, the wife of trainer Murray Johnson, said that he could be in the Kentucky Derby if he wins this race.
And he very well did win the race. That's going to do it for us from Golden Gate Fields. The California Derby, the 77th running. It goes to Green Alligator and Corey Knight.